go back slower because this is going to be slower on your rep, and we want to keep your cardio down a little so we get explosive movements. Try to like get the ball a little, maybe push you over. You got me. Now you got me clean on that too. Say you're gonna have to debate.
Alright, what's up everyone? So this is day 2 of the Wisconsin trip. If you missed the first day, be sure to go check that out. There were some good drills in there, a lot of one-on-one. So for this video, it's going to be a little bit more straightforward, a little bit shorter. I'm going to do a lot of explaining on the drills. I'll let Jesse explain a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it's just going to be me. So be sure to stick around till the end. There's some funny stuff at the end. And if you like this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and stay tuned for part 3.
This way instead of up and down. And you do up and down, not too much, but also be more sideways. Yeah. And so under this leg works, I'm always going, my defender's in this way, but I'm not putting it in this way, I'm going to this.
So today was focused a lot more on drills, just keeping things a little bit slower. Because we were here for 3 days, we wanted the third day to be a lot higher intensity, so we wanted to have an easier day for our second day. So there was a lot of focus on like street ball moves, that type of thing. So like the first drill we did was working on a nutmeg out of a between the legs setup.
That's a good strategy. You pressed up on me more. I felt the need to come upright, and that brought my hand up.
One of the big keys with this was making sure that we got our ball side foot past our defender, or at least into their space to make them feel the need to turn. So Jesse wasn't just playing dummy defense, he was actually kind of reading us, and if our approach and our setup really looked convincing, like we were going to drive, then he would drop a little bit more. Another thing I'm doing today is showing a lot of bad reps. So in this case, some of the worst reps came because of not bouncing the ball at the right angle. I had several times like this clip right here where I threw the ball too low and too outward and not enough up and down. So just showing some of the clips as to what went wrong and kind of why they went wrong. But for the nutmegs, that was a lot of it. After that, we worked on a counter for it. So really all of today, it started with the between the legs nutmeg, and then we worked on counters out of that. So this is a trigger step counter. I had a hard time getting the movement down. Q was a lot better at it than I was. I just really struggled with getting that motion. I don't know why, because in my head and looking back at it, it shouldn't have been that difficult. But he did a lot better with that than I did. As you'll see in some of the bad reps, I was shuffling into it way too much. So there was like an initial shuffle right here, but then I was really bad about on the actual trigger step. Instead of kind of rocking back, I was doing another shuffle, or I was doing it almost doing just like a little float hezzy, because I've used that a lot, and just ended up kind of reverting to that as opposed to moving back a little bit, kind of leaning back into that trigger step.
Too, I never thought about this. A lot of times you get the defender, you get him opening, and you get him anticipating to go for the ball here, and then you just stop short of that. The last 2 reps that you guys did that, I'm like, I was with intention thinking I'm going to go for the ball to see how you guys react. And you're literally like just stopping short of that. And you can kind of look for this hand as like a cue. Oh, he's going to try to close it off and hope for the ball. Now you got me clean on that too.
Revenge tour complete. So Jesse was playing more live defense right here. The purpose of it was, since we've gotten the nutmeg down and then also worked on a counter out of it, he would, since he knew what we were going to do, it wasn't like he was necessarily reading to see what we were going to do, but rather he would just play one way or the other. He would either play the nutmeg to where he would get the steal, or he would more so give us the nutmeg. So that was kind of the purpose here, was to just be able to make that read and react. I had the question of how do I know kind of what the read is, like what should I look for, and you saw in that early clip right here, it was more so about how if he jumped the setup, so when we came in float, if he jumped over, then instead of trying to go all the way through with that drive, we could just stop short and go through the legs. And so that was a big key for this drill. So we have another, I guess, counter or another option out of the nutmeg, and that is the yank. So with this, there's not really much more to add about it. It really just adds another layer to it. You know, if you get the nutmeg off and maybe the defender turns well, you can yank it back and get a shot, you know, something like that. So that was kind of the thing here. A lot of my reps, they didn't really look that great. You know, the reads were decent, but I wasn't committing enough. So like in a real game, I don't think I would have gotten some of these nutmegs off, because it just kind of looks like that one looked better. With some of the earlier ones, it looked like because I knew what I was going to do, I knew I was going to hit the nutmeg, I wasn't making it look quite convincing enough. And so that's the other thing. That's one thing I liked about the read and react, is that at least it's showing, like, I can't just determine that I'm going to do a nutmeg, because there's a chance that he might be sitting waiting for that, or he might jump the setup to where now I can't drive, but I can easily hit that nutmeg. So it's kind of the same thing here. Angles weren't always great. Yeah, that one was too soft. That was another thing, is in some of these I was not pounding the ball enough, so the ball would just kind of move slowly between Jesse's legs, in which case, you know, a defender can easily get a hand on that.
Oh, I like the mindset though.
So this was another setup that we did. Not really another like option out of it, but just another setup for it. A little bit flashier, a little in and out. This was fun. A big key for this one was that the dribble itself stayed just up and down. So the whole setup was actually not about like pulling the ball back between your legs, but rather just dribbling it straight up and down in that same type of rhythm that you would have coming up, and then just taking a longer step forward. So I had some bad reps in the beginning because I was trying to do like an actual in and out, to where I'm pulling the ball back between my legs, whereas as Q and Jesse pointed out afterwards, I just needed to keep my dribble normal, just regular up and down dribbles, and then on the step where I would go between my legs with the ball, I just needed to step farther forward, and that was really the only difference. And so doing that allowed the ball to stay protected, allowed me to keep the ball by my hip, or like kind of behind my hip. And then the other thing was just I wasn't always leaning in enough to sell it, but other than that, it was a pretty easy setup. And then obviously we did the yank out of that. We did the yank out of pretty much every setup, just to have those options. Everything else is really the same about it, just setting it up with a step forward, kind of a long step forward. So Q and I finished up with a little one-on-one. This is the only one we played today. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely be sure to leave it a like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. It really helps me out. Stay tuned for part 3. Part 3 is going to be coming up soon, and it's going to include a lot of different drills. We're going to be playing a lot more one-on-one in part 3. So if you enjoy seeing Q and I go at it, then you're definitely going to want to see part 3. And just be sure to share this around, trying to spread the word, trying to grow and hopefully get monetized this year, so and be big. I also feel it feels like really weird doing this, like voicing over when it's just me sitting here. It's like awkward. I didn't write out a script for this one. I just went off the cuff, and it feels really weird. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.
Bro, just go back slower because this is gonna be slower on your rep, and we want to keep your cardio down a little so we get explosive. Make it a little more active. I try to